Okay, in today's tutorial we're going to be covering something a little different to all the previous videos that we've done. We don't need a practice chanter for today because we're covering the SCQF level 2 monotone exercises. So monotone stands for one tone, so no pitch involved. Simply a rhythm exercise. Okay, something that drummers are good at and pipers notoriously poor at. Okay, so something that we should definitely improve on in order to improve our reading of the music. Before starting these monotone exercises, we should have studied the note value table in order to understand the note values. It's incredibly important. The first thing that we would do is understand, in order to understand monotones, is look at the time signature. Now, all of these time signatures in level 2 are in simple time. Now, in simple time, the beat note is divisible by 2. Okay, so it's divisible into 2 equal parts. So we have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And we would tap our foot on the first note of the group. 1, 2, 1, 2. So the beat note is divisible by 2. Okay, so please look at that as we move through these exercises. It's really important that we learn to tap our foot in the correct place, always the first note of the group. Okay, this is particularly helpful in learning how to march in the future, something that a piper has to be able to do, to play and march in time with the music. Okay, the first thing that we would do is look at the time signature when we're about to play a monotone exercise. So this whole page, we're working in simple time, and the first exercise, line 1, is a 2-4 time signature. Now, a time signature is the 2 numbers at the start of a piece of music. So in this case, it's 2-4. The top number of any time signature tells us the number of beats or beat notes per bar. The bottom number tells us the relation of the beat note to the semi-breve. In this case, with the time signature being 2-4, the top number tells us that there's 2 beats or beat notes per bar, and the bottom number tells us that the relation of the beat note to the semi-breve, that whole note, we are working in quarter notes, okay, because the bottom number is 4. So we have 2 quarter notes per bar. We know, if we've studied our note value table, that a quarter note is a crotchet. So we have 2 crotchets, or the equivalent of, per bar. In line 1, the first bar, we have the most simplified version of a 2-4. We have 2 crotchet beats. We have 1 and we have 2. In bar 2, we have 2 quavers. In bar 2, beat 1, 1, 2, beat 2, we have the exact same, 1, 2. In bar 3 we have the same, 1, 2, but this time followed by a crotchet beat. And in bar 4 we have that crotchet beat, and then the 2 quavers. Okay, so we can, and I would encourage you to speak or sing as you learn these monotones, but obviously you wouldn't do that in an examination. So we could say crotchet, crotchet, quaver, 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 crotchet, crotchet, quaver, quaver. Or we could say long, long, even, 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 long, long, even, even. Okay, so I'm going to play you that line 1 again, this time without any speech. So just a recap, the first thing that we do is look at the time signature. We know it's 2-4. Okay, the second thing we do is tap our foot. Remember to keep a nice steady tempo, not to go too fast or too slow. So, and then we're going to count ourselves in after 2. Here we go then. 1, 2. Let's do that one more time. After 2, 1, 2. Okay, moving into line 2. The first thing we do, again, is look at the time signature, which again is in 2/4. Let's recap what that means. The top number tells us that there's 2 beats or beat notes per bar, and the bottom number tells us that the relation of the beat note to the semi-breve, so we're working in quarter notes. So there's 2 crotchets, or the equivalent of, per bar. In this line of the SCQF level 2 monotone exercises, we introduce some different features. In bar 1, beat 2, we have a crotchet rest. Okay, so that means that we're not making a sound from the table. In bar 2, we add some dot and cut. So on the first quaver, we add a dot. Now a dot increases the note by half of its original value, and a cut does the opposite by decreasing the note by half of its original value. We've definitely covered that in previous tutorial videos. Okay, so I'll just speak you through that whole line. In bar 1 we have quaver, quaver, crotchet, rest. In bar 2 we have long, short, crotchet. Okay, in bar 3 we have quaver, quaver, long, short, and then in bar 4 we have that simple crotchet, crotchet. Okay, so we have after 2, 1, 2, even, even, rest, long, short, long, even, even, long, short, long, long. Really important that we strike the table bang on the beat. Okay, so again, look at the time signature, start tapping our foot, remembering that we're in simple time, and then we can begin. After 2, 1, 2. Okay, moving on to line 3. The time signature has now changed into 3/4. The top number tells us that there's 3 beats per bar, and the bottom number tells us that we're still working in quarter notes. 3 crotchets, or the equivalent, per bar. The first bar we have 3 crotchet beats. 1, 2, 3. In bar 2 we have 2 quavers, followed by a crotchet, followed by 2 quavers. Quaver, quaver, crotchet, quaver, quaver. Remembering that the foot lands on the first note of each group. In bar 3 we have quaver, 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 crotchet. And in bar 4 we have quaver, quaver, crotchet, crotchet. So let's talk our way through that whole line all together. After 3, 1, 2, 3. Long, long, long. Even, even, long. Even, 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 long. Even, even, long, long. Okay, this time without any speech. After 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, into line 4. Again, the time signature is in 3/4. We introduce again some dots and cuts and a crotchet rest in bar 2. Bar 1 we have long, short, long, even, even. Bar 2 we have long, rest, long, short. In bar 3 we have long, 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 short. And in bar 4 we have long, even, even, long. All together, after 3, 2, 3. Long, short, long, even, even, long, rest. Long, short, long, 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 short, long, even, even, long. This time after 3, but with no speech. 1, 2, 3. Okay, into the 5th line, the time signature changes to 4/4, still in simple time. 4 beats, 4 crotchet beats, or the equivalent, per bar. Okay, again we've got some rests and we've got some dots and cuts, so make sure to pay particular attention whilst reading the music. After 4, we'll go through that again actually, splitting up bar per bar. In bar 1 we have a crotchet, 2 quavers, long, short crotchet. In bar 2 we have a dotted quaver, followed by a semi-quaver, 2 quavers and then a crotchet. Bar 3 we have 2 quavers, a crotchet rest, a crotchet. Bar 4 we have 2 quavers, a crotchet, a dotted quaver, semi-quaver, crotchet. Okay, so you will get a wee bit faster as the more you practice these, and your rhythms will definitely improve, and your reading of pipe music will definitely get better. Okay, so let's talk our way through it whilst playing. After 4, 3, 4. Long, even, long, short, long, short, even, long, even, long, rest, long, even, long, short, long. This time without any speech. After 4, 2, 3, 4. Okay, line 6. Again, the time signature is 4/4, so we know that there's 4 crotchet beats or the equivalent in each bar. Bar 1, a crotchet followed by 2 quavers, some dot and cut there, so the dotted quaver, semi-quaver, crotchet. Bar 2, dotted quaver, semi-quaver, 2 quavers and then a crotchet. Bar 3, 2 quavers, a crotchet rest, and then a crotchet. And then lastly, bar 4, 2 quavers, a crotchet, a dotted quaver, semi-quaver, crotchet. Okay, so we'll talk us through and play line 6 after 4. 3, 4. Long, even, long, short, long, short, even, long, even, long, rest, long, even, long, short, long. And then one last time, but without any speech. After 4, 2, 3, 4. Okay, in the next video, I'll simply play from top to the bottom without any tutorial throughout it. So hopefully this video's been handy in order to learn these for the beginner, learning how to play monotones. Something that pipers should definitely try out, not as easy as they look, and it will for sure allow you to understand your theory skills so much better. So something that we definitely want to encourage. Okay, so enjoy practicing your level 2 monotones. Have lots and lots of fun. Well done.